I'm back doing my Christmas tree skirt. I have found some nice trims that I had in my stash. I thought this would be nice around the bottom here. There was another kind, but only a small amount of that one. Same colours, different pattern, a bit smaller. So I've popped that across there instead of this lace here. So that will go like that. I did find silver and gold small trims that I will use. I do want to add different colours like that, and I think they'll both go quite nicely with this. My natural instinct is, oh, don't overdo it. But I'm thinking, it's Christmas. Yes, let's overdo it. Otherwise it just won't, you won't even notice it's there. Now, I did previously put these doilies on here, but I couldn't see it very well. So what I've done, I've already done this one. I've put some fabric behind that little piece of lace off that doily, and I just want to show you how I did that. So I'm going to take this piece off here, and I've got this fabric. It's shiny on one side and it's matte on the other side, and it's just scrap fabric that I got from the op shop or something, or thrift store. What way did I put that? I'm just seeing what way with the grain I did it, and I did it that way with the grain. So we'll keep it the same, and I've just found a spot where I can pin it on. And I pinned it on in a couple of places to keep it nice and flat. I think I mentioned previously I want to, have the different tones, not just white or anything like that. I want the different neutral tones. So I've done that. Just let me pop that. Where does that one go? Oh, no, that's this. Oh, that's what I'm working on. I need it. I did that, and then I just cut that bit of fabric off like that. Trimmed it down a little bit to make it easier to work with. So I've got that like that. And then I put it under the sewing machine, and with a straight stitch, I stitched all the inside parts on. So on the inside here I stitched, and on the inside here I stitched, and in here and all over I stitched on the inside, and then which I'll go ahead and do now, and then come back and show you what I did next. Okay, so I've done that, which is, you can't really tell from the front there, but when you turn it on the other side, you can see how I've stitched, and I've only done on the inside. See how it lifts up on the edge? And now what I do is, they're the wrong ones, get a nice pair of short scissors and kind of angling your scissors so they go underneath the edge of the lace you're cutting around, and just start cutting away the backing fabric from it. You don't want to be cutting it too short inside of it, but just a little bit shorter than what the actual lace is. See how I've just cut a little bit there? And it's not as hard as you might think. It's, once you start, it's quite easy. You just kind of hold it on an angle, and you're well away from the stitches you just put in, which is nice. And just go around the whole outside edge like that. Alright, so that's done, and then I just get the piece I'm putting it on. I want to try and line it up at the same height that I've got this other one on, allowing enough room to make sure I can put a trim on there as well. See, so I need to make sure it's high enough that I can put that trim around the edge as well. So that looks about right there. Yep, so just a couple of pins on there. Making sure this is pointing down to the point as well. Like these two pieces are not exactly the same, but they're close enough, and they're not going to be next to each other anyway. Like, you know, even this curve here is not the same as that curve there, but that's okay. I mean, that's the beauty of these things, isn't it? Or part of. Like that. And I think that's all I'll need. And then all I do is go over to the sewing machine and start off, say, here, and on a zigzag, a small zigzag, I just go around the whole lot. And the reason I use a zigzag is because this fabric here, it does fray quite easily, and I don't want it starting to go all bitty on me. There we go. So I will use a zigzag, and as you can see here, you can't even see the zigzag unless you're right on top of it. It just blends right in. You can see it on that side. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's done. That's the back there. And trim all your threads off. It keeps everything easy, nice and neat. So they're both done. I found these little crocheted pieces that I've added. I'm not sure if I showed you that before. So those two are all right. This one here, I thought, I've got this lovely cotton trim here that I found that I had. This, I wondered what that might look like. I've got it in cream and I've got a bit in gold. The gold's, I'm not sure whether I'll use the gold. I wondered whether I could, what's on there? Take that off for a minute, like that, and maybe put that there. Is it stitched down? Let's stitch down. Put some of that there like that. Maybe that over the top there. Oh, maybe it needs to go higher up actually, that one, because it just, there's a lot of straight lines there, isn't there? So maybe not. I like this though. Just feels a bit plain, doesn't it? I do have, I've got some velvet ribbon here. I wonder what that looks like. It's also in a gold colour. Whether I could use a bit of that. No, I don't like that. I just feel like I need a little bit more in that area than just that. Think perhaps another lace of some kind. Just a minute. Oh, I wonder if I can use, I've just found these, and I'm just wondering whether I could put one of those on there. Oh, I wonder if I've got enough of those. I don't have to have it on them all. How many have I got? One. There's another one. Oh no, see that? Oh no, that's another one. It's missing the big one down the bottom though. I don't know whether I'll have enough of these. That one's missing something. That's a full one. That's a full one there. So I've got I got 2 full ones of those. So I can use that on 2 of them, can't I? I could either use them on there to add something, although that's already very shiny, isn't it? Or it's too big for on there. I'll put that back for the time being. Like that and like that. What else have we got? I've got this. This is still a little bit plain, but I mean, it's too big for in there, isn't it? Isn't it? No, I quite like that on there because it just adds something. Maybe I'll put 2 on the narrow ones. On this one, I was thinking, because of course it's having, where's that gone? It's having this around the edge like that, so that will be nice. But what I thought, I wonder if, like, I could do like, I could put that going down like that, or even in a triangular pattern, not triangular, sorry, diamond shaped pattern around this, could add something to it, you know. Once I start adding this sort of stuff though, like I said, I'd like to combine the gold and the silver because my tree has gold and silver on it. Once I start adding bits like this, and I've got to sort of add it to these pieces here as well to make sure it all goes together. I guess I could go like that and like that up the top. I could do that on that one, adding a bit of silver. But what could I do here? I could just, what was that? Oh, that's, like I could just add a line across there. Doesn't have to be, or it could even have it going down like that. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? Could have that one going down like that. I could have maybe a bit of that there. I like that down there because remember this will be there, so you're having silver gold. I could have something up here. I may come across some other stuff. I found a bit of tassely one, but I think my cats would play with that, so it's probably not a wise thing to do. I got beady bits as well here. Oh look, there's a bit of braid there that could be used. I love the beady one, but once again, I think the cats would play with that too much. See, this is quite pretty, isn't it? It's only a little bit of that, but it goes nicely with this wide one. I could have that maybe just in the middle there would be all right, and then find something for up here, because that goes with that, and that would bring the silver in. I could actually put this little bit of gold across the top of there if I wanted to as well. And then I don't have anything for the side pieces and I need a braid, but I think I will probably go to Spotlight, which is a craft store here in Australia, and buy a piece of braid just for these connecting seams that will go with this. So either in the darker shade there or the lighter shade, preferably the darker shade. It's like a tan, almost goldy kind of look. I think that would kind of bring it all together. But I want a bit of silver on each of these larger ones. I don't know where I would put it on this one though. Not quite sure, unless it just went up like that, up there, and then, you know, down there. That could work. It's still bringing it in. And then, like on something like this, where's that? I've got sparkly buttons here I could use. Not until I'm finished though. But you know, I could put a nice sparkly button on there. Isn't that pretty? Something like that. And I think that would be fine because it's, oh, hang on, that one. That one has the gem upside down in it. Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, it just has like a bit of glue or something stuck over that top of it. That's better. That's much smoother. I thought that was rather... I could do that there. And even with the little one here, I don't know if I've got any little ones. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a little one. I used them, I think, on my baubles. I could put another little one up there, and that would add to the sparkle. Ah, yes, okay, this is fun. This is fun. So this is how my mind is working at the moment. So what do I have to do next? Let's move the little ones. They're the last thing to go on before I join them together. All this sorts of thing. Close the pins. I still have to stitch this on, which I think I will do that by hand because they're quite thick and it might move around on the sewing machine. So I've got that one to do. On these ones, the same thing. I think I'll stitch this on by hand because it's quite thick and I just think it would lay better doing it by hand. That's stitched on, that's all stitched on. You can see on the back there. I was going to put something under that and then I didn't like it because I thought this is quite dark, and then by the time I get this on down here, it's quite all right. And then, like I said, I can do, you know, something like this around that diamond shape. I think would be a nice way to do it there, to bring the silver in. Okay, so that's that one. What was the other one? That one, I've got to stitch that on. Got to stitch the little stars on by hand. And that one there is the other one. That one has to be stitched on by hand. And if I bring the silver here, maybe I'll move that up a little bit, I think. Was I going to put anything along here? Like that? Maybe I will. Just a stripe there. Maybe I could do one on either side. And that would help fill this gap up. That could work. That could work. Okay. Or a bit of that in there. Like that. That could work too. Maybe that. And that. Do I have enough of that for two? Yes, I do. Okay. So that might work too. And do I want on two of these? See, I've got to be careful because even on these, it's going to have that. So it doesn't leave me a lot of room down here. I would have to carefully, as long as I don't go over the seam allowance that could fit there, too. Opposite that one there, and one on another one on the other side of the thing, and then I have to find, let's say, two more different types that have two each. Hello everybody, I'm back again. It's another day here, just doing bits and pieces every other day basically. I've started stitching on some of the silver gimp trim. I think that's quite nice. It gives it more of a Christmassy kind of look. I did add a little bit of trim that I found there as well. I haven't stitched these on because I'm still not 100% on the little crocheted star shapes yet. So I did end up putting those on, and I've got them all in order. I stitched that one. I put it the other way around. It seemed to fit better that way, and then found a flower and put the flower down the bottom. They are all machine stitched on. It did take some time to do, but I think it'll be worth doing. So that's that one there, and this is pinned on as well because once again I'm just not sure if that's what I want there or not. It's got a really nice faceted button on there that it's quite loose, but I'm not sure about the crocheted bits just yet. That's that one. That's that one. I just put that lovely corded cotton trim down the center of that one. That's that one. Just put a V of the tinsel there. Oh, and that one's not stitched down yet either. This one here, I used some of the fabric that I used under this doily piece, and I just, made a tie sort of, made the same sort of shape as the actual piece. Then I had some old vintage curtaining, I think it was, and I cut out a part of that and put it over the top. I've zigzagged those on, but what I'd like to do, and not with the silver trim, I'd prefer to get a different colored trim for this and go around the outside of that shape and stitch that on. And then we're back to the first one again. So like I said, I've got them all in order, with just a few bits to finish of them. But what I thought I'd do is start joining them together and see how we go. Oh, that's exciting. So just lining, and then I'll trim those bits off once they're caught in some stitching. So lining it up like that, and oh, right, I think it's best to start at this end. So they're completely lined up here, like that. And to sew it that way as well. Perhaps I should have pinned it from that side. But to sew it going down like that, yes, I think I should have pinned it from this side, to be honest, so it's easier to put under the machine. Like that. Where did that go? That just went, oh, I've got it. Can't afford to have pins on the floor because the dog sometimes comes in. And so that will end up being like that, which will be nice. And then, of course, once it's finished, I will have another braid that will go over the seams, and then the edging one as well. So I don't want my seam allowance to be too wide either. I'm going to make it 1 centimetre. What's a centimetre? What is a centimetre? A centimetre is approximately just under 1/2 inch. So let's just sew this together and try our first one, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's our first piece joined together like that. That's nice. I'm happy with that. And now I can, of course, I can take these extra pieces off here to tidy it all up like that. Get rid of those bits. Don't need to keep those. And any, there we go. Oh, that looks quite nice. And that did just make it. I was a bit worried it might get caught. So now I have to make sure that I'm joining the correct piece to the correct piece. So that one there will go there like that. Okay, and open up like that. Oh, it will be very jazzy. It will be very jazzy. Okay, there. We're doing it from this side. It went through the machine wonderfully. Not too thick at all. My machine does take thick, you know, quite a few layers very, very well. It's a Janome. It's a wonderful machine. Okay, that looks about right. Try and get that there. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and join them all together and then I'll be back. Okay, I got all the pieces joined together and I must say I'm loving it. It's actually turning out so much better than I expected it to turn out. Just the mix of everything is looking very nice. The touch of silver so far is just adding a really nice sparkle to it. I think I will change these ones. I haven't stitched those on yet. I will change those because I don't like them. I'll have to find something else for there. But other than that, I really, really like the way it's turning out. That should be plenty big enough. I mean, it's going to be minus a seam allowance as well. For my hole, I do have an opening. Like I said, I need it to be removable. But yes, I'm really, really liking it. And I'm kind of glad I added the extra panels in. Remember at the beginning I said I was going to do 5 of each and I ended up doing 6 of each. I think that will be better. It will just make it, it won't be as flat, you know, because you've got to remember the bottom of a Christmas tree goes like that. So it has to have enough fabric to cover that where the stand is. So I'm sure the 6 will be wonderful for that. So it's looking lovely. I have to get braid for around these ones here. And also braid for the cross, you know, the seams. And then no, that's not the one, is it? Where's the, oh, this is the one. This is going to go all around the edge of it. So kind of wanting a braid, a goldy colour braid perhaps. This colour that's in there, the darker one, to go on the join lines. And so next time, on the next video, what I will be doing, I should have hand stitched my pieces on by then. The next one I'm going to be doing is putting the lining on, because remember it's not lined yet, and finishing it off. Won't that be exciting? That will be lovely. I'm so excited to see what it will look like. And of course this will get stitched on right at the end. Right at the end. What about the... Still got a pin in there. I'm trying to work out when do I do the seam braids. When do I sew those on? Do I do it before I line it or after I line it? I will figure that out. And the corners are lovely and crisp, but you know, don't worry too much about that, because when you're putting this sort of thing on, you have to be able to sort of manipulate it a bit around the corner, so the corner will end up looking a bit rounded anyway, because there's no way you can sort of get this to do a perfect right angle, because it's so thick. I suppose you no, I don't know whether you would get it to make a perfect right angle. It would just, see how thick that is to do it like that, and if you cut it, it would probably unravel. I don't know. See, the only way you could do it is having one of those on each side. Oh, I don't know if that'd get through my machine though. Hey, maybe, but then you come to here. How do you do it there? Do you do it the opposite way there? And then you'd have to make sure it was all lined up properly to do the small one. And then like that. And then back down to there. It only just sort of fits in there. I'm just worried about the bulk of it. The only other way is to, yeah, see. I might be able, I can only try, can't I? I can only try. Like, I'm using this, it's because it's what I've got. It's what I've got on hand. And I've got all of these. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's a different style. I've got 6 of them, counting that. And it should be just enough, because I've got 6 of each of the panels, and as you just saw, then oh, I don't know. So if we started it there, like, we'd have to start it kind of here, I think, there to there to there to there to there, and that brings us back a little bit up. Yeah, so it does 2 panels, so we'll just do the whole thing, and because it's what I've got, that's what I'm going to use. So maybe we'll get it, maybe it'll look fine, but I do need to get something for the seams. Yeah, like Anyway, that's the video for today. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm thoroughly enjoying this project. It's nice to do something you haven't done before. It's nice to sort of dig through my supplies and try and work out what I'm going to be using. Like I said, I'm just really, really enjoying this project so far. So take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.